Hello, Lynette here. Our president went down to the southern border today with Ted Cruz and another, I think, senator, although I don't know his name. And they went down to Texas to the Rio Grande River, sorry, which is the longest unprotected, there's no fence or no nothing down there stretch of American border there is, and it takes in the most seizures. Most contraband comes across there. So this is like immigration central down there. And these fellas that were talking to him were very pleased to see our president. It was really great. I mean, you could just see on their faces, you could tell by the tone of voice. And the one officer who was their spokesman, you could tell he was really grateful to have the president there, and he wanted to say to the American people what the situation was, because Americans are being lied to every single day by mainstream media, by the blankety blank Democrats who claim that our border crisis is just a matter of a couple of women and children coming across with a little basket singing songs in their gingham dresses. It's really kind of unbelievable. So what this man said, a couple of numbers that are very interesting. One was that they had in the past couple of weeks seized 40,000 pounds of marijuana. Now, put this in perspective of little bottles of spices that you buy. Oregano, okay? I think they're about 1.25 ounces. And weed's very similar to oregano in its texture and its weight. So extrapolate that out to 40,000 pounds. That is a lot of weed. And if you might say, well, what does it matter if we bring illegal weed? We got legal weed, so if it comes in the black market, what does it matter? Well, it does matter. The states are making some nice tax revenue on this. In the case of Washington State here, they're making some serious tax revenue. But most importantly is we finally have gotten a product that is safe and reliable and consistent, because the weed here in America is produced under basically medical, pharmaceutical conditions. So we don't want this crap weed coming up from Mexico. God knows what they've sprayed on it or stored it around, or, sorry, we don't need that. This officer said that today alone, they had apprehended 450 illegal aliens. That's just today, just in that one space that they were able to catch. Not to mention because they are, they don't have the staff that they need, the ones that got through. And he said that they were there was 133 of them. They were from countries other than Mexico and Central America. So almost a third of those people weren't even Hispanic. They were from India and Pakistan and Ecuador and Romania. So I guess there's other Eastern Bloc people coming in. And he said it was 41 different countries. Now we know that there's a pipeline for terrorists to come in here via Dubai, down to Brazil, and then up through Central America. That's been documented. So when Donald says that we're going to get terrorists here, or we have gotten terrorists here, he's telling the truth. Don't be fooled by these lefties that say, this is ridiculous. Why would they just fly in? Well, first of all, they can't fly in from a lot of countries that Donald stopped. Second of all, if they have a passport that gets red flagged because they're on one of these lists, they can't fly into America. So they're going to come through this other route. Makes perfect sense. And if that's what they're after, that's what they're going to do, because it's just a wide open situation. The past couple of weeks, this Border Patrol said that they'd gone from seeing mostly families and women and children to less than 50% of the people crossing the border are families and children. In other words, more than 50% are single men. And they tend to be of military age. They're people that, if they stay in their own country, maybe they could actually accomplish something down there. But no, they want to come up here and be freeloaders, which is what I believe that they come up here for. Over 60% of immigrants, both legal and illegal, coming from Mexico and Central and South America, are still on a public assistance after 20 years. Figure out what that costs the American people. And these numbers are published by the government. These are numbers that are available to you to look at. Why do we have to pay for this? I wish that there was more stress laid on the cost to the American people. I don't think that's hammered on over and over and over again by conservatives and Republicans, because the percentage of people that are super wealthy in this country, they don't care about who they pay for or anything. They don't care. But you and I, where we just have, we're middle class, wherever you are in that grand scheme of things, do you really feel it necessary to pay for welfare for people that came here illegally because they weren't smart enough to jump through the right hoops? They were too lazy to jump through the right hoops. And this is what Donald meant when he was running for president, and he made that speech that's been taken out of context a million times. How there's so many illegals coming up from Mexico. They're not sending their best, because you got to have both parts of that sentence to make it make sense. He didn't say Mexicans were not the best. He said the people coming up through the southern border illegally are not the best that Mexico has to offer, and this is the truth. You have to think logically about it. Tell your lefty friends that they're wrong about this, is that if you have something to offer to America, be it you're well educated or you have a skill or talent, you're not going to crawl up through deserts, dragging your children, half killing them, to try to go through over some river and try to enter some country illegally. You're going to go through the normal channels, because that's what normal people do. If you're somebody that's coming up through Mexico and dragging your children with you, you have nothing to offer America. I'm sorry. You're not educated, and you're not skilled, and we are going to take care of you and your family. Another Border Patrol person that I heard speak a couple of nights ago, he said they're seeing a lot of sick people. Lots and lots of very, very sick people that they left their homes from down wherever, Honduras, Guatemala, southern Mexico, and they were sick when they left there. And lots of very sick children. And parents this is child abuse. Can you imagine if you had a child, you lived in Seattle, and you had a sick child, and you drove your car across the country, and you'd stop, as you went along, and people would say, well, why are you taking that horribly sick child along? Oh, I want to get to New York. Well, by the time you got to New York, that kid would be half dead. They would arrest you when you got there for child abuse, child endangerment, not taking care of your child. But we're only supposed to feel sorry for these people. There's no condemnation for their behavior, that they've done something really, really horrible to that child. It's somehow our fault. So let's all, we're supposed to, Sean Hannity last night gave the phone number out for calling our senators and our House people. It's pretty pointless here in Washington, and I know other states it would be a little bit pointless too, but you might live in a place where you have a Republican to stand firm, and maybe it's not pointless to call the Democrat. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know how they can be so stupid and following that zombie Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer down this road. Because if you, like I told my daughter, I said, if you took the budget, the whole year's budget, and it was on index cards, and you threw 2 darts at it, those 2 index cards would equal $5.7 billion. I guarantee it. It might take you three index cards. That's how little money this is in the grand scheme of things. And yet the left is still fighting it because they hate Donald Trump so much. So try to pay attention to this stuff, and keep faith with our president. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.